Hello, friend. If you've ever looked at someone broken and thought, I'm the only one who can save them, then this is the episode for you. Maybe you're here because deep down you recognize yourself in those words. You're drawn to the damaged ones like a moth to a flame. The addict, the unavailable, the chaotic, the broken. We are exposing the savior complex for what it is. Emotional predation dressed up as love. That rush you feel when someone damaged needs you. It's not compassion. It might be something much darker. And if you're finally ready for that brutal wake-up call that shattered my world, stay with me. I've got 3 truth bombs about why we hunt wounded people that will force you to question every good intention you've ever made. These revelations ended my 6-year addiction to broken partners and exposed the predator hiding behind my helpful hands. So let's rip off the mask. Are you a savior or a predator? Are you addicted to fixing broken people? Welcome back to Couch Tales, Why We Do What We Do. And stick around until the end where I'll reveal the terrifying moment I realized I wasn't the hero of my relationships. I was actually the villain in disguise. Some people create storms, then get upset when it rains. We've all heard that quote. But here's the darker version no one talks about. Some people hunt for storms, then pretend they're just holding umbrellas. That was me, storm hunter, damage collector, emotional vampire in savior's clothing. Maybe you're here because deep down you recognize yourself in those words. You're drawn to the damaged ones like a moth to a flame. The addict, the unavailable, the chaotic, the broken. Their pain calls to something primal within you. Their wounds feel like an invitation only you can answer. If only they had your love. If only they understood what you see in them. If only they just let you fix them. That's not love. That's hunting. Let me tell you about Ryan, my most dangerous addiction. When I met Ryan, he wasn't just waving red flags. He was drenched in blood-red warning signs. Eyes that went empty when he thought no one was looking. A trail of restraining orders from exes, family who spoke of him in past tense, though he was very much alive. Scars on his arms that told stories so dark they should have sent me running. Instead, they reeled me in like a fish to bait. Everyone who loved me was terrified. My best friend since childhood actually said, "I'll miss you," like she was attending my funeral. My other friend said, "This man is dangerous to your well-being." But their concern only fueled my savior fantasy, because I wasn't just dating Ryan, I was auditioning for sainthood. I alone could see the wounded child beneath his monster. I alone could absorb his darkness and transform it into light. What followed was 18 months that nearly destroyed both of us. There were nights where I spent time tracking his phone to sketchy parts of town during benders, days at measuring my words with scientific precision to avoid his outrage, and the crushing responsibility of being his lifeline and the twisted pride I felt when he would break down and tell me he'd be dead without me. Your savior complex isn't love, it's just your ego wearing a nurse's uniform. I lost friends, I lost weight, I lost my grip on reality, but I couldn't let go of the intoxicating power of being needed, of being the special one who could tame the beast when everyone else had failed. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Just scroll through any popular streaming service. Half the romantic movies glorify this exact toxic dynamic. The Beauty and the Beast syndrome is everywhere. The internet is filled with quotes about loving someone at their worst. Pop songs celebrate loving the broken ones no one else wants. We're culturally addicted to the savior narrative. By the way, thank you for hanging out on the couch and helping us grow. If you haven't already, go ahead and push that subscribe button and the bell for notification of future episodes. Your support helps us keep exposing these toxic patterns that society romanticizes. So what exactly is happening in our brains when we chase damaged people? It's a psychological pattern where we are magnetically drawn to unstable partners because, and here's the uncomfortable truth, their brokenness feeds something hungry inside us. What are the warning signs? The warning signs are written in neon once you know what to look for. You repeatedly fall for people with obvious trauma or addiction issues. You feel an almost sexual thrill when they break down and need you. You secretly enjoy telling others about how much your partner struggles. You believe you have special insight into their pain that no one else has. You document their worst moments to prove your devotion. Their rare good days feel like evidence of your healing powers, and their inevitable crashes leave you devastated but secretly energized. The most dangerous predators are the ones who genuinely believe that they are saviors. Let me tell you about my friend Jade. Not her real name, obviously. Jade told me that after her partner was arrested for assault, again, their 5-year relationship followed a cycle as predictable as seasons. Violence, apologies, honeymoon period, tension, explosion, rinse, and repeat. But when I suggested leaving, her response chilled me. She said, "I can't abandon him now. We're just making progress. Besides, who else would ever love him like I do?" The question exposed everything, not about him, but about her predatory need to be irreplaceable. Just a friendly reminder, this is not professional advice, just good old psychology and personal stories. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. So what would psychologists say about our addiction to broken people? Even Dr. Phil would call this what it is, a power trip disguised as compassion. We're not rescuing drowning people, we're holding their heads underwater while calling ourselves lifeguards. Modern psychological research reveals something most of us don't want to hear. The savior complex often shares disturbing similarities with predatory behavior. Both involve identifying vulnerability, isolating the target, no one understands you like I do, and creating dependency. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. The darkest shadow of the savior is the saboteur. Many saviors unconsciously ensure their partners remain broken. They subtly undermine recovery efforts. They're suspiciously present for every relapse. They remind their partners of their weaknesses. After all, if the wounded bird heals and flies away, what happens to your identity as the caretaker? Look at celebrity couples where one partner seems perpetually troubled while the other one plays permanent savior. Notice how often the stable one suddenly references the other's struggles in interviews? That's not protection, that's branding. Back in caveman times, this is actually strategic. Our ancient ancestors survived through power dynamics. Having someone emotionally indebted to you meant having a loyal ally who couldn't leave because they believed no one else would take them. The savior-prey relationship is as old as humanity itself. Today's version is just dressed up in social media caption about loving someone through their darkness. I think it's time to start practicing a new instrument because this predatory symphony is destroying lives while pretending to save them. Here are the 3 brutal truth bombs that finally forced me to face my predatory savior shadow. Number 1, you're not drawn to their pain, you're addicted to their dependence. This realization broke me because with Ryan, I noticed a disturbing pattern. I would become distant when he showed strength and independence, then re-engage when he spiraled. Why? Because strong Ryan didn't need me. Broken Ryan made me feel essential. That's not love. That's emotional parasitism. Number 2, you deliberately choose partners too damaged to see your own flaws. The savage truth many of us can't see, we select severely wounded partners because their damage overshadows our own issues. I wasn't just helping Ryan, I was using his spectacular dysfunction to ensure no one, including myself, would notice my own inability to form healthy attachments. His brokenness was my perfect hiding place. And number 3, you might be creating the very damage you claim to be healing. The most horrific revelation came when Ryan's sister cornered me at a coffee shop. She said, "He was troubled before, but he wasn't destroying himself until you came along with your constant help." That just reminds him how broken he is. Her words stripped away my savior disguise and revealed the monster beneath. My constant focus on his damage, my need for his crisis calls, my subtle encouragement of his self-destructive behaviors, I was farming his pain for my own consumption. Being someone's savior isn't beautiful, it's just a socially acceptable way to control them. The most devastating moment came about 5 months after I finally left Ryan. I saw him at a distance, clear-eyed, laughing, alive in a way I'd never seen him before. My first feeling wasn't happiness for his recovery, it was loss, confusion, even anger. The broken man I'd built my identity around fixing wasn't broken anymore, and it happened after I was gone. When we accidentally made eye contact, he didn't approach. He just gave a small nod that said everything. We both knew what our relationship had really been about, and it wasn't love. The darkest truth of the savior complex is this: real love doesn't need someone to stay damaged. Real love hopes for their healing, even if that healing means they no longer need you. As one Harvard psychologist wrote about emotional predators, quote, "The most insidious ones don't want to destroy you, they want to keep you around, damaged enough to need them, functional enough to be useful." That's it for today's episode of Couch Tales, Why We Do What We Do. I'm your host, Analia. If you like this episode, take a moment to follow us, push that subscribe button firmly, and share this with someone who needs this wake-up call. Drop a comment about your own experience with the savior complex. Recognizing the pattern is the first step to breaking this predatory cycle. Hey, but before you go, I need to warn you about something that will shake you to your core. Next time, I'm revealing the 5-minute test that exposes how my caring behaviors were actually subtle forms of control. This psychological mirror shows exactly how we weaponize empathy to keep people dependent on us, and it transformed how I see every supportive relationship in my life. I'll walk you through the shadow work step by step, but only if you're brave enough to discover whether you're actually a savior or a predator. Until next time, friend, stay curious, stay kind, and remember that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is acknowledge that your help might be the very cage trapping both of you in a cycle of damage and dependence. Click here for more episodes.